Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to BYJU'S Exam Prep. My name is Naveen, and today we'll be looking at CAT 2017 quant questions, along with what kind of paper we are going to expect, what is generally the cutoff of quant and overall. Okay, and also we'll look into what kind of questions IIM Lucknow gives, because in the year CAT 2017, Lucknow created the paper, right? So, what can we expect from this year's notification as of now? Okay, so it will be released by the end of this month, around July, and it will be conducted. Obviously, everybody knows that it's going to be last Sunday of the month of November. The date is known, it's 26th of November. And based on the previous year trends, the way the IIMs they conduct the exam, IIM Lucknow is going to be the convener of the exam this year. So CAT 2023 will be conducted in the online mode. There will not be any offline mode. So that means you will have to go to a particular center where system will be provided to you and you will have to write the exam. Okay. And if you look at the trend from 2014 to 2019, Indore, Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Lucknow, Calcutta, and then Kozhikode were the conveners. And 2020 onwards, again, there is a repetition. So Indore has been there, Ahmedabad has been there, Bangalore has been there. So accordingly, Lucknow is going to conduct this year's exam. So what is our take on the paper pattern? So I will hide myself so that everything is visible. So in the case of VARC section, the verbal ability and reading comprehension section, the first section of the CAT exam, the number of MCQ questions are going to vary in the range of 19 to 21. Unless and until the notification is not out, we will not be sure. So until that, we have this speculation that minimum 19 questions and maximum 21 questions will be there this year. The number of non-MCQ questions, also known as theta-based questions, there are going to be 3 to 5. Total number of questions may remain 24 as we had in the last year or the year before that, or it may increase by a couple of questions. When it comes to DILR, the number of MCQ questions are going to fall in the range of 15 to 18 questions, and non-MCQ 5 to 6. So a minimum of 20 questions and maximum of 24 questions you can expect. When it comes to QA or quantitative ability, number of non-MCQ questions are going to fall in the range of 16 to 18 questions, non-MCQ, that is database, 6 to 8, and total 22 to 26. Total number of MCQ questions will fall in the range of 50 to 57, non-MCQ 14 to 19. So that total number of questions will be as low as 66 and as high as 76. The section-wise time limit of 40 minutes is not going to change. Even if the number of questions, let's say, increase to 76 overall, the paper will still be of 3 hours. The marking scheme is also going to be standard. It's not going to change. You will be awarded 3 marks for every correct answer. -1 for every MCQ questions getting wrong, and 0 marks for any theta question getting wrong. And you will also be given 0 marks for unattempted questions. So there will be no negative marking just because you left some questions. Yeah, good afternoon, Sonali. If you talk about the CAT score versus a percentile, this is what we have if you look into the last 7 years trend. CAT 2022, a student needed 110-ish marks to get into the category of 99.9. For a 99.5, only a score of 93 was required. Only a score of 82.5 was required for a 99 percentile. And just 60 marks was required for a 95 percentile. And if you compare it with the year before that, so if you compare CAT 2022, lesser marks were required to get a similar percentile as compared to CAT 2021. For CAT 2021, you needed 107 marks to get a 99.5, which last year it was as low as 93. So we will keep the range of marks so that you get a 99 percentile somewhere between 110 to 120. So it's not going to be 110 or less. It's going to be around 110 or more. Okay. So our target right now by the month of August is somewhere around 70 marks at least, right? For that, we need to solve questions faster and with more accuracy, and we don't have to solve a lot of questions. In order to get a score of 60 or 70 marks, let's say 72 marks, we need only 24 questions to be solved. Right? If you solve 24 questions, all of them being correct, you will be given 72 marks for this. And I'm saying 24 questions out of the entire paper. So even if I break it down in the simplest way as 8 questions from each of the sections, you need only 8 quant questions to solve and only 8 questions from LRDI and 8 from VARC. Of course, solving only 8 questions in VARC will not most probably clear your cutoff. The percentile cutoff required for your VARC section for most colleges, but that's the start, right? So let's start with our quantitative ability. 2017 questions we are going to solve. There were only 2 slots in 2017 CAT. Okay, if you look at the number of questions from each of the topics in CAT 2022, there were 8 to 9 questions of arithmetic, in 2021 7 to 10, and in algebra 4 to 9, and in CAT 2021 6 to 8. So if you see here, there were at least 12 and at most 18 questions just from these 2 topics, isn't it? While the other 3 topics, they are important, but they are not as important as arithmetic and algebra. So when it comes to modern maths, you will find 0 questions from PNC probability, or at most 3 questions as well, right? We are talking about each slot, not the entire paper, as in not all the 3 slots together. If you look at the weightage of the topics, you will find arithmetic to be the to have a weightage of 40% in the paper, right? And within arithmetic, you will find the maximum number of questions that come are from these 3 topics, which are time, speed and distance, time and work, and averages. And then if we include percentages, you will find the next important parts. So if I take entire percentages, of course, it has got a lot of weightage, which is 7 plus 7 plus 8, 22 questions. But the entire percentage is further divided into basic percentages, as in successive percentage change and all, SICI and profit and loss. And if I similarly include averages and mixtures and allegation, because these all 3 fall in the same category, you will find the maximum number of questions just from ratios and proportion here. The next important topic is algebra, which comprises around 33%, as in 1/3 of the paper is algebra. Out of these, linear equations, functions, quadratic, sequences and series, and logarithm. These 5 topics, they form the subtopics, they form the maximum number of questions in the paper. Okay, and we are looking at the last 3 years का total मिला के ये one year में you did not get 9 log के questions. We are saying 20, 21, 22. Last 3 years के CAT में total मिला के 9 log के questions है. There were 9 slots overall in 3 years. There were 9 log questions. That means in every paper, in every slot, there was 1 question of log. So it is going to be very good if you know how to solve questions on log, because एक तो आना ही है, right? So that is the average. Okay, let's look at geometry. Geometry constituted only 15%, while number theory only 7%, and modern maths just 5% around. And you will find the questions on triangles to be the most in geometry. Almost in every slot there will be 1 question from triangles, and lines and angles there had been no question in the last 3 years. If you talk about modern maths, even PNC is not going to be there in every slot. The average number of questions in every slot is less than 1. So it's more like a 6. Out of 6 slots, only 5 slots had PNC questions. Okay, and set theory, there were only 2 questions and not a single question from probability, or maybe 1 question from probability, but which involved a lot of concepts from PNC rather, right? You shouldn't take quadrilaterals very seriously. Polygons, okayish. Coordinate geometry, okayish. Circles, not very seriously. So anything that is less than 50% is not to be taken very seriously, as in you should definitely read the concepts, know how to solve, know the theorems, know the properties, पर उसको इतना सीरियसली नहीं लेना है कि उसके पीछे यू आर गोइंग टू स्पेंड 1 वीक और 10 days. You are going to waste that. Okay. So if you only talk about QA, so in CAT 2022, in order to get 99.5 percentile, you needed 37 marks. 37 marks is 13 questions. In 2021, there were 14 questions. उसके पहले का नहीं देख रहे because number of questions were not what we were expecting. For a 99 percentile, you needed around 12 questions. Similarly, 12 questions. For a 95 percentile, you needed around 8 questions. When I'm saying 8 questions or 12 or 13, I mean that when you solve those 8, 12 or 13 questions, तो all of should be correct. ऐसा नहीं कि 13 कर लिया तो आपको 99.5 आ जाएगा, नहीं. Out of those 13 questions, every question should be correct. Isn't it? Right? And it can go as low as just 6 questions. So if you attempt 6 questions, you will score definitely 17 marks because 6 into 3 is 18. So 6 question करोगे 90 percentile आ जाएगा. Isn't it? So now let's solve some actual CAT 2017 questions. Yeah, hi Pratik. So the first question. The thing is not we are solving the questions, it's more about how do we know, which process to use? How do we know which formula to use? How are we going to, use the equations even if we have to use the equations, or how are we going to assume the values? तो हमें questions को जल्दी solve करना है. Okay? Some of the questions may take, more than a minute or a half because सारे questions तो नहीं होंगे ना 30 seconds वाले. It's impossible. So most of the questions are there which can be solved around 1 minute's time duration or on an average of less than 1 minute. So there are going to be some questions which will take more than 1.5 or around 2 minutes, right? So that you average it out, it will turn out to be 1 minute, 1.5 minute average लगता है. ठीक है? चलो, let's begin. So bottle 1 contains a mixture of milk and water in the ratio 7:2, and bottle 2 contains a mixture of milk and water in the ratio 9:4. In what ratio of volume should the liquids of bottle 1 and bottle 2 be combined to obtain a mixture of milk and water in the ratio 3:1? So when we are mixing two things, we are talking about the average, right? So if I talk about bottle 1, the total volume is 9. If I talk about bottle 2, the total volume is 13. If I talk about the average, the total volume is 4. हमें सबको same करना है. ठीक है? So 9, 13 and 4, we need all of that. Okay. So there are two ways to do this. First is without taking the volumes to be equal or anything of that sort, we can straight away use alligation because we need the ratio of the volumes that is going to be, jaldi solve hoga if we use alligation. So if you talk about bottle 1, you need to decide which particular attribute or which particular thing are you going to include. So I will choose milk here. So in bottle 1, milk is 7 out of 9. In bottle 2, milk is 9 out of 13. And on an average, the milk is 3 out of 4. So we need to find the ratio. So I hope everybody knows कि आपको ratio निकालना है, तो you will have to take the difference of these two, right? So 7/9 and 3/4. So we will have 7/9 minus 3/4. So this is going to be 1/36. And then we will have 3/4 minus 9/13. So this is going to be 3/52. 39 minus 36, 3/52. So the ratio is going to be 3/52 divided by 1/36, isn't it? So this is going to become 3 into 36 divided by 52. So 36 is going to be 18, and this is going to be 26, then this is going to be 9, and this is going to be 13. So this is going to be in the ratio 27:13. B option. right? Okay. Next question. Arun drove from hotel to his home to his hostel at 60 miles per hour. While returning home, he drove halfway along the same route at a speed of 25 miles per hour and then took a bypass road which increased his driving distance by 5 miles but allowed him to drive at 50 miles per hour along this bypass road. If his return journey took 30 minutes more than his onward journey, then the total distance traveled by him is. Okay. So what we are going to do is we will start with the options. ठीक है, equation नहीं लिखने वाला. See how we decide. I decided I'll prefer options because if I start using the equations, I will have to assume the distance and do some. See, when the distance is unknown, okay, then you will, in order to calculate or equate time or speed, you need fractions, and fractions को equate करना पड़ता है. Sum of fractions or difference of fractions को equate करना पड़ता है, which are not easy, right? So that's why I'm going to prefer the distance as the options. मतलब options use करेंगे. So 60 miles per hour he takes from one side, and while coming back he drives halfway along the same route at 25 miles per hour. So suppose if I take 60 miles as the option, तो उसका halfway 25 miles per hour पे गया, and then उसका speed जो है instead of 25 now it will become 30, right? अच्छा नहीं, his remaining distance won't remain 30, it will become 35, but it will allow him to drive at 50 miles per hour. So speed बढ़ा देगा वो, ठीक है, double speed हो जाएगा. So I will prefer with option B because 60 miles per hour and 60 miles is going to be easy. So if I start with option B, so in order to go, okay, he is going to take 60 miles by 60 miles per hour. He is going to take 1 hour. In order to return, what will happen is he is going to cover the first 30 miles at 25 miles per hour. So this is going to be 6 by 5. Hour, right? Which is going to be 1 hour and 12 minutes. Now what happens? The remaining 30 miles when he was about to travel, it increased by 5 miles, so it became 35, but he is now going to cover that at 50 miles per hour. So he is going to take 7 by 10th of an hour. Now 7 by 10th of an hour, if we calculate, is going to be 42 minutes. So the total time he took was 1 hour and 54 minutes, which is not 30 minutes more. So B is not going to be the answer, right? I hope you guys are able to follow this. ठीक है. Next, I will prefer 65. There is a reason. क्योंकि जब whatever the distance is left, we are going to divide it by 50 and initially by 25. Okay. So initially he was supposed to take 60 by 65 hours. Okay. So I'm not going to, sorry, 65 by 60 hours. So 65 miles by 60 miles per hour. So this is going to be 65 minutes ले रहा था पहले. ठीक है. Now he should take 95 minutes, 30 minutes more. So later on he takes, he covers half the distance, right? So half the distance would mean 65 by 2 miles, and he covers that in 25 miles per hour. So he is going to take 65 by 50. 65 by 50, 5 से चला जाएगा. So this is going to be 13 by 10th of an hour. And then he covers the remaining distance. Remaining distance 65 by 2 hai, and 5 miles further his distance will increase. So that will become 75 by 2. And he's going to cover this at 50 miles per hour. So this is going to give us 75 by 100, which is going to be 7.5 by 10. I chose 7.5 by 10 so that I can add these two times aram se. So this is going to give me 20.5 by 10. hours overall, which will become, if I multiply this by 60, so 20.5 into 6, so that will become 41, and 20.5, 75, 80, 140 by 2. हाँ, ठीक है. 70 is what we will have. See, 65 by 2 is half the distance, right? Now he is left with 65 by 2, but his remaining distance increases by 5. So 65 by 2 plus 5, 75 by 2. Okay, looks good. So 20.5 into 6, 126. Is this 126? नहीं, 126 नहीं, 123 होगा, पर ये बहुत ज़्यादा हो जा रहा है ना, 123 minutes. This is almost like 2 hours. If it's a theta, then of course we will be using equations, or we'll be looking at the values what are given. The thing is, why am I little hesitant for this is 65 by 2 and 75 by 2. If I add both of them, this will give me 70 miles. So he actually covered 70 miles. Out of the 70 miles, half se kam. When it says halfway along, does it mean वो पूरा halfway along या total का halfway along? So that's what I'm confused with. Okay, should I take 70 and 70, or should I take something else? Okay, let's try now option D, क्योंकि 123 minutes is almost 2 hours, while 65 by 60 minutes is just a little over 1 hour. It says only 30 minutes extra लगना चाहिए. So we will check now option D. So 35 miles he covered at the speed of 25 miles per hour, which is going to give us 7 by 5 of an hour. And initially 70 by 60 hour, or which is 7 by 6th of an hour, he used to take in order to go. अभी वो ये लेने वाला है. The remaining is 35 miles, which is going to be 40 by 50. So this is going to give us 4 by 5 of an hour. If we add all of this, this will give us 11 by 5 of an hour. Now 11 by 5 of an hour is, if I multiply it by 60, so this is going to give me 11 into 12, which is 132 minutes here. And this is only going to give me 70 minutes here. Right? So his return journey did not take 30 minutes more. This is actually 62 minutes more. Right? So 70 भी sense नहीं बनता है. So let's look at the first option. 55 का half, sorry, 55 miles at 60 miles per hour. So he is going to take 55 minutes while going. While coming back, half the distance he is going to cover at 25. So this will become 55 by 50, which is 11 by 10th of an hour, which is going to be 66 minutes right here. And the remaining half of the distance plus 5 miles is going to be 65 by 2 and the speed of 50. So this is going to be 6.5 by 10 of an hour. So this is going to give us 39 minutes. If we add all of this, this is going to give us 90, 105 minutes. Six 6.5 by 10 is going to be 6 into 6, 36, and 0.5 into 6, 3, 39 minutes. So ये क्या 50 minutes ज़्यादा ले रहा है? क्या 50 नहीं, sorry, it is taking 50 minutes more. No idea, see? Got stuck in a question, so this question is going to take me, normally if I am going to solve it, it's going to take me more than 2 minutes, right? 2 minutes already हो चुके हैं. So suppose this guy covers 2D distance at the speed of 60 miles per hour. So the time he is going to take is going to be 2D divided by 60. Why did I choose 2D? Because while coming back, he is going to take the D distance same. But since he is going to take a bypass, he is going to cover D plus 5 miles now, right? And while return, he is going to take D by 25 and plus D plus 5 by 50. It is known that this time is 30 minutes or let's say half an hour more than this. So D by 25 plus D plus 5 by 50 minus 2D by 60, इसमें जितना टाइम लगा लौटने में एंड जाने में जो टाइम लगा उसका डिफरेंस जो है 1/2 है. Right? So this is what I was talking about. I will have to take the difference of the fractions and उसके बाद LCM लेना पड़ेगा. But normally मेरे को आंसर आ नहीं रहा है. So there is some calculation mistake that most probably I am doing. So last resort, use the equations. So the LCM of the denominators is going to be 300. So if we take 300, so this is going to give us 25. कितने times 300 होता है? 12 times. So we will have 12D by 300 plus 6 times D plus 5 by 300 minus 10D by 300 is equal to कितने का upon 300 होगा? ये 150 by 300 होगा. Since 300 is common, we can get rid of it. So we will have 12D plus 6D, 18D minus 10D. So 8D is equal to 150 and this was 30, right? So this will become minus 30. So this is going to result in 120. If 8D is 120, so that gives us 2D जो distance होगा, this is going to be 30. Okay, total distance traveled by him is, so while going he covers 30, while coming back he covers 30 plus 5, 35. See, the mistake I was doing with the options was I was only taking one way, 2D ले रहा था मैं 65, 60, 55. So the total distance he covers is 65. टोटल डिस्टेंस मतलब जाते वक्त भी लौटते वक्त भी सब मिलाकर. So wrong understanding of this phrase, the total distance traveled by him, which should have been both onward and return journey. I was taking only one side. That's why not getting the answer. So see, कहीं ना कहीं गलती हो ही जाती है. So the answer is going to be C, 65 months. Next. Out of the shirts produced in a factory, 15% are defective, while 20% of the rest are sold in a domestic market. If the remaining 8840 shirts are left for export, then the number of shirts produced in the factory is. So 8840 किसके table में है, right? So what we can do is we can take this 8840 and we are pretty sure that it is divisible by 40, है ना? तो अपन इसको 40 से हटा देते हैं, डिवाइड कर देते हैं. So this will become 40 into 4 into 2, 4 into 2, 4 into 1. 40 into 2, 21. Now 221 किससे divisible होता है? 221 is has got what number as the factor? 221 is it divisible by 2? Is it divisible by 3, 5, 7, 11, 13? Which one is it going to give us? Anyone? 221 actually 13 into 17 होता है, ठीक है? So if the resultant calculation, the resultant value is in the table of 40, 30 and 17, then the actual value should also be in the table of at least one of these, right? So 13 and 17 के table में option A is in the table of 17 and option B is in the table of 13. C and D तो नहीं होएगा आंसर. Why? Because none of them are in the table of 13 and 17. Okay. Now all we need to see is कि ये 17 जो है ये बचेगा कि नहीं. 15% are defective. That means 85% are fine. They are non-defective. 85 contains 17, so this 17 will cancel out. 85 17 के table में है ना, so your final answer should be in the table of 13. So answer is going to be B. That's it. I don't have to write down the equation or solve it, right? The thing is, if there are total n shirts produced in the factory, 15% are defective. That means 85% are fine, right? Now it says 20% of the rest. इसका 20% ये sold हो जाता है. So that means the remaining 80% are left for export. That's what the question says, right? So what is the number of shirts that are left for export? So can we say 80% of 85% of n? And this is given as 8840, जो है 40 into 13 into 17. And from here, what you will realize is the one thing that I was saying कि ये 17 कट जाएगा, ये 40 भी कट जाएगा. 40 ऐसे भी नहीं देख रहे थे. 40 is not a prime number. So from here, if you solve, you will get the value of n followed by 3, as in n is equal to 13 followed by 30. देखो 13 बच गया ना. So instead of doing this again and again in hundreds of questions that you're practicing, how about learn कि भैया ऐसे कुछ लिखा हुआ होगा, आपके पास factorize करना है. So the answer is going to be B. Next question. The average height of 22 toddlers increased by 2 inches when 2 of them leave this group. If the average height of these 22 toddlers is 1/3 the average height of the original 22, then the average height in inches of the remaining 22 toddlers is. Averages question, of course, it is mentioned average. And we can solve this using two approaches. एक तो हो गया proper equation के, दूसरा हो गया logic. Right? So what you have to do is assume कि 22 toddlers you have. Right? Out of these 22 toddlers, when 2 of them leave the group, the average height increases by 2 inches. So हम लोग ऐसे करने वाले हैं कि suppose the average height of every toddler was h. When these two leave, the average height of every toddler will increase by 2. कितने toddlers? Initially there were 22. When they left, there are only 20 toddlers left. So from here, can we say that the 20 toddlers who got an extra of 2 to 2 inches, that is 60 inches जो इधर बढ़ाया गया, those 60 inches must have come from these 2 toddlers overall, right? No, sorry, not 60, 40 inches. So there are 20 toddlers, no? So this toddler got 2 inches more, the next toddler got 2 inches more, and so on. 20 toddlers got 2 inches more, मतलब 40 inches left side में donate किया गया. These 40 inches were donated by whom? The 2 toddlers who left. So that means they should get poorer by 40 inches. So can we say the height of each toddler will actually decrease by 20 inches? Right? क्योंकि दो लोगों का मिला के 40 कम हुआ है, तो individually 20 कम हुआ है. Now the question says, if the average height of these two toddlers is h minus 20, This is 1/3 of the average height of the original toddler. 1/3 the height of the original toddler. तो total toddlers कितने थे? उनका average height कितना लिया था हमने? H लिया था 22 का. So this is going to give me 3h minus 60 is equal to h, or this will give us h is equal to 30, right? We need to find out h. नहीं, अपने को 22 toddlers का average नहीं चाहिए, हमें 20 toddlers का average चाहिए. So can we say the average height of 20 toddlers will actually increase by 2 later on? So h plus 2 चाहिए अपने को. So the answer is going to be C. No equation, right? एक equation लिखा जो कि बिना equation के भी हम कर सकते थे. This was so pretty simple that 3h minus 60 is h. So obviously h has to be 30. 90 minus 60 होता है ना 30. And we will get our answer as C option. Next question. The manufacturer of a table sells it to a wholesale dealer at a profit of 10%. The wholesale dealer sells the table to a retailer at a profit of 30%. Finally, the retailer sells it to a customer at a profit of 50%. If the customer pays 4290 for the table, then its manufacturing cost in rupees is going to be how much? So we have the manufacturer selling it to a wholesale dealer at a profit of 10%. Wholesale dealer selling it to a retailer at a profit of 30%. Retailer selling it to a customer at a profit of 50%. और ये कस्टमर को इतना पे करना पड़ता है. So manufacturing cost कितना है? Right? So 50%, 30% and 10% successive is what we require, right? So if you calculate the success of this is going to be more than 100%. करके देखो आप. 50 plus 30 plus 50 into 30 by 100. If you just solve this is going to be 95%. 95 plus 10 is 100. 100 से भी ज़्यादा है. So this overall is going to be more than 100%, but not 200%. 100% से ज़्यादा होगा, 200% से ज़्यादा तो नहीं होगा. So if I look at the options, if I put 3000 का 3000 का 100% से ज़्यादा won't be 4290. 2500 का 100% is 5000. 2500 का 100% increase is 5000. हमें तो कल 4000 जाने का है, तो 2500 भी नहीं हो सकता. 1500 का 3 times almost is 4500, right? 4500 3 times का मतलब हो गया कि almost 200% is profit. पर ये तो हमारा उतना भी नहीं होने वाला. So एक ही ऑप्शन बचता है कि B होगा. कि if you take B and if you increase it by more than 100%, थोड़ा सा ज्यादा, तो 100% ही इंक्रीज करोगे तो 4000 पहुंचोगे. उससे थोड़ा सा ज्यादा करोगे तो 4000 से ज्यादा पहुंचोगे. That's where we need to reach. So we don't have to solve using multiplying factor or any formula. Common sense. 2000. Next. A tank has an inlet pipe and an outlet pipe. If the outlet pipe is closed, then the inlet pipe fills the empty tank in 8 hours. If the outlet pipe is open, then the inlet pipe fills the empty tank in 10 hours. If only the outlet pipe is open, then in how many hours the full tank becomes half full? So ये याद रखना. Excuse me. In questions like these, where it is given that you have a tank, and in the tank you have got inlet pipe and you have got an outlet pipe. If the inlet pipe is only working, तो ये 8 hours में full हो जाता है. प्लस लिख रहा हूं full का. And if both are opened, दोनों अगर काम कर रहा है, तो ये 10 hours में empty कर देता है. Empty as in I'm going to put a minus over here. Okay. So can I say ये together का scenario है? ये केवल inlet का scenario है. I need to find out outlet का scenario. So inlet and outlet का together is going to give me together का scenario. we will make sure that we will consider the symbols very cautiously. Okay. So inlet plus 8, outlet minus D divided by inlet plus outlet gives you overall minus 10. You will get the value of D. Now this is D is about completely empty करने का. इन्होंने बोला है half full करने का. Okay. So this is going to give me minus 8D is equal to minus 80 plus 10D, or if we solve this, we will have D is going to be plus 10D and minus 80. मेरे को डी ना नेगेटिव नहीं लेना चाहिए था, ये अपने आप नेगेटिव आता, दैट्स व्हाई सी it is making things difficult. So 8D is equal to minus 80 minus 10D. So we will be having 18D is equal to 80, or we will have D is equal to 40 by 9 hours, right? If only the outlet pipe is open, AB upon A plus B is the formula for together, right? So 8D by 8 plus D is equal to minus 10. And it gets emptied in 10 hours. Hold on. I think I know where I'm making the mistake here. When I'm not taking any symbols, तो मैं ये minus 10 भी क्यों ले रहा हूँ जब टुगेदर में empty ही होना है तो, right? It fills the empty tank. It doesn't empty it. So plus 10 ही तो होगा. See, when the options do not match, you become little cautious. You know that you may have done a mistake somewhere, right? So if we solve this, we will be having 2D is equal to minus 80, or D will be minus 40. So minus itself tells us कि ये हमारा outlet है. So if it takes 40 hours to empty the entire tank, तो जो half full है, it will take only 20 hours, as in half. 40 is for entire tank, so for half the tank, it's going to take 20. So the mistake that I did was I should not have taken this signs already, right? D को minus नहीं लेना था, उसको पहले से ही plus लेना था. D finally will turn out to be negative. If I'm going to take D as minus, I will get final answer as D as 40, plus 40. But the thing is, the calculation will become difficult. गलती होने के chances ज़्यादा होते हैं. We are not good with subtraction, right? So answer is A. Next is Mayank buys some candies for rupees 15 a dozen and an equal number of different candies for rupees 12 a dozen. He sells all for rupees 16.5 a dozen and makes a profit of rupees 150. How many dozens of candies did he buy altogether? So looking at this, can I say कि ये जो भाई साहब हैं ये 150 कमाते हैं, right? Overall profit, right? So after selling for 16.5 a dozen and making a profit of 150, सो कैन वी से कि 15 रुपीज का प्रॉफिट नहीं कह सकते, ठीक है. So let's say some candies for rupees 15 a dozen. Let's say there are X candies here. Okay, we have X candies and we have Y candies of this type. So 15X is the total amount spent for first type of candies and 12Y is the total amount spent for second type of candies. If we add, this is the total amount spent, right? And from this, if I subtract from this from 16.5 times X plus Y, तो इसका मतलब कि हमने total profit इतना कमाया, right? Total profit is equal to total sales and minus total cost, right? And this is going to give us a total profit. So great. So if we solve this, we will have 1.5x minus 4.5y is equal to 150. If we get rid of 1.5 thing, so we will have x minus 3y is equal to, okay, see, we have an equal number. Last में equal number लगाने की जगह starting में ही कर लेते. Rupees 15 and dozen, rupees 12 a dozen. What is the average of 15 and 12? Because we have equal number. So 15 और 12 के बीच में कौन सा number होता है? 13.5. And he sells at 16.5 a dozen. So how many rupees is he going to earn for every dozen? So can we say he's going to earn 3 rupees for every dozen? And if he wants to earn a profit of rupees 150, so how many dozens should he buy? Plain and simple tha, equal number. 50 dozens. 3 rupees for every dozens he is going to earn. देखो अभी हम जो सॉल्व कर रहे थे उससे भी यही आता, but then I realized कि it is taking more time. I'll have to now substitute x is equal to y and solve. तो मैंने छोड़ दिया उसको. So 50 dozens is what is required. So 15 and 12 ka average. This is my average cost price. Average selling price is 16.5. The profit for every dozen. So we are talking about every dozen over here. This is 3 rupees profit for every dozen. If you need an overall profit of 150, so how many dozens are you going to buy? Ye tha, right? Next question. In a village, the production of food grains increased by 40% and per capita production of food grains increased by 27% during a certain period. The percentage by which the population of the village increased during the same period is nearest to. So obviously we won't be able to solve it exact, पर हम लोग approximate कर सकते हैं. So if we talk about the formula, it says per capita production, right? So we are talking about production divided by per capita into total population will give us the total production. हर बंदा कितना खाता है into number of people is equal to total production, right? As per the question, the production of the food grains increased by 40%. So ये 40% से बढ़ा आपका right hand side. Per capita food increased by 27%. So this increased by 27%. So what should be the increase in the population? Again, we don't need multiplying factors. We don't need successive का formula. Common sense लगा लेते हैं. If I say that option B, it increased by 13%, 27 plus 13 is already 40. Remember, it's A plus B plus AB by 100. So actually 27 and 13 का successive will be more than 40. पर अपने को 40 चाहिए. तो 13 से तो कम होगा आंसर. Now, if I put 7% over here between 10 and 7, 27 plus 7 is mere 34. 34 plus 27 into 7 आपको 40 नहीं ले जा पाएगा. 7 is way too low. So the only option that is left is 10. Such that 27 plus 10 is 37. 37 plus 2.7 will be almost 40. Closest. So answer हो जाएगा आपका 10. You guys can see, no, in CAT also, if the options are turning out to be in fractions or decimal values, वो आपको क्वेश्चन में ही नियरेस्ट बोल देते हैं, so that you don't have to deal with those fractional values. Because a lot of people complain कि सर अगर पॉइंट में हो गया तो, अरे पॉइंट में हो गया तो आपका वो क्वेश्चन एग्जाम में नहीं आएगा. As simple as that. Don't solve it while you're practicing. ठीक है. Next one. If A, B, C are three positive integers such that A and B are in the ratio 3:4 while B and C are in the ratio 2:1, then which of the following is a possible value of A plus B plus C? आप सोच सकते हो कितना सिंपल क्वेश्चन है. People who have done ratios, you guys would be smiling from year to year. कि सर ऐसे क्वेश्चंस भी आते हैं क्या? हाँ बेटा, ये एक्चुअली आपका CAT 2017 का क्वेश्चन है. So this is going to be 3, this is going to be 4 and C is going to be 2. So the sum of A plus B plus C, if you solve, is going to be 9. So your final answer should also be in the table of 9. So 201 is not in the table of 9, 205 is not in the table of 9, 210 is not in the table of 9, 207 is in the table of 9. How to check if the number is a table of 9 or not? Sum of the digits. Right? 2 plus 0 plus 7, 9 आता है, तो 9 से divisible होगा. So question number 9 is का answer C हो गया. Question number 10. A motorbike leaves point A at 1 p.m. and moves towards point B at a uniform speed. A car leaves B at 2 p.m. and moves towards point A at a uniform speed, which is double that of motorbike. They meet at 3:40 p.m. at a point which is 168 kilometers away from A. What is the distance between A and B? Right? So, this is your point A, where a bike leaves at 1 p.m. and it is moving towards the point B. There is a car at point B and it leaves at 2 p.m. and it is moving towards point A. The speed of the car is double that of motorbike. So bike की speed अपन 1 ले लेते हैं, तो car की speed हो जाएगी 2. Okay, so we are talking about the speed over here as 1 and 2. Okay, they meet at 3:40 p.m. which is 168 kilometers away from A. So 168 kilometers away from A, this is where they meet. Right? So what is the distance between them? Now, they meet here at 3:40. है ना? Okay. अब आप देखो कि बाइक पे अगर ध्यान दो, so can I say that the bike, okay, at speed of 1, ये जरूरी है, covers 168 kilometers in how much time? 2 hours and 40 minutes. है ना? 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and 3 p.m. to 3:40. So 3:40 p.m. पे ये इधर तक पहुंचता है. So 2 hours 40 minutes, can I say this is going to be 60 plus 60, 120, 120 plus 40, 160 minutes में. This is the distance covered by this bike, right? If I talk about the car, जिसकी स्पीड डबल है, right? So how much, for how long was the car actually moving? So can we say 2 to 3:40, which is 2 to 3 p.m., which is 1 hour and another 40 minutes, 60 plus 40, 100 minutes में ये cover करने को है, right? So अभी अब मैं क्या करने वाला हूं कि I am going to say that this is approximately 1 times, ठीक है? So in 100 minutes, can I say it's going to cover double? क्यों? Speed double है. तो अगर 160 minutes में ही covers 160 kilometers, let's say, excuse me, then in 100 minutes it will cover 200 kilometers. I'm saying approximately, because 160 का into 1 is not 168. It's more than 1. So 200 kilometers तो ये cover करेगा ही करेगा. Right? I'm talking about car. So car covers 200 kilometers. The bike covers 168 kilometers. Total हो जाएगा 368 कम से कम. So option A is gone. Right? Suppose if I want to really find out कि ये है कितना. So I will have to take that as x, take that one as x. Right? So can we say 168 is the distance covered at the speed of 1 in 160 minutes? Right? So at the speed of 2 at 100 minutes, how much distance will be covered? This is what we need. क्या करते हैं हम लोग? इसको multiply कर लो, divide कर लो. In any way, you will be able to find out this particular distance from here. So this distance is going to be 200 into 168 by 160. So now 200 and 160, they both are in the table of 40. So this is 5 and 4. This is going to be 42 times. 42 into 5 is going to be 210. So 210 kilometers is the distance covered by the car. So the total distance covered is 168 plus 210. 378. Right? Option B. Next question. Amal can complete a job in 10 days and Bimal can complete it in 8 days. Amal, Bimal and Kamal together complete the job in 4 days and are paid a total amount of 1000 as remuneration. Excuse me. If this amount is shared by them in proportion to their work, then Kamal's share in rupees is. Simple सी बात है कि we will take total work, because there are 3 people, so I will not use the formula directly. We can take the total work as the LCM of all the days that you see. 10, 8 and 4 सबके LCM ले लो. So I will say 40 units. So Amal finishes in 10 days, so he will be doing 4 units. Bimal completes it in 8 days, so he must be doing 5 units. And all 3 are going to complete it in 4 days, so he is going to complete, all together are going to complete the work in 4 days, so they must be doing 10 units every day. So can we say कि 10 units together they are going to do? Amal does his 4 units, Bimal does his 5 units. So how many units Kamal should be doing? ताकि ये 10 हो जाए. 1 unit. So if Kamal finishes 1 unit in 1 day, so for 40 units, Kamal is going to take 40 days. Right? जिसकी जरूरत थी नहीं, I just said कि वो इतना लेगा. Now, everything that is required to find the remuneration or the payment is written over here, because payment or efficiency same चीज होती है. I shouldn't say same cheese, but we are talking about in the same proportion. They are directly proportional. So can I say, looking at this, that Kamal should get 1 rupee out of a total of 10 rupees? So Kamal भाई साहब को हर 10 रुपए में 1 रुपए मिलना चाहिए. Right? तो 1000 rupees में कितना मिलेगा? In other words, if I divide 1000 in the ratio of 4:5:1, this share of Kamal will turn out to be 100 rupees. So option A. Right? Next question. Sorry, ये 12th वाला नहीं. Let's ignore that 12th wala, because in the last set of 2017 mein, we have already done it. So in case you guys haven't seen the solution to that, please go to the last video. This is the second session on CAT 2017 का QA. तो आप last वाला देख लेना. In the meantime, let me see if you guys have any doubt. Okay, BAAA. हाँ वीरेंद्र, I saw that later on. चलो मैं अभी messages पढ़ ली आपके सबके. Okay, so if you want to unlock the BYJU'S app for 3 days as a trial, all you have to do is go to the app, download it from Google Play, and you can enter your contact number there, and that's it. your app will be free for the next 3 days. You can also enroll in our test series, which includes video solutions, the analysis, 3 All India open mock tests, and more than 80 mocks overall. You can be one among our CAT 2023 toppers this year. This is our CAT 2022 toppers. And these are not our test series students. These are our proper classroom students. So the online classrooms that we take, online batches, these are the students from there. So all you have to do is join our comprehensive program. We are along the very last batches of this year. So make sure that you join as soon as possible. These are all the giveaways. Okay. And on 30th of July at 11 a.m., Mr. Srinivas is going to take a workshop. It's going to be an interactive workshop about the roadmap to 99 percentile in CAT. You can ask your doubts here about your preparation, your strategy, how to write mocks and all. And you can get up to 90% scholarship. The scholarship test is scheduled for 23rd of July at 11 a.m. Make sure that you do not miss this. Thank you, everyone. Make sure that you check out our social media handles and join our Telegram group if you guys have any doubts. I'll see you again in the next class with another set of interesting questions or previous year questions. Okay. Until then, take care.